Hey, this is Allie Edwards, and today I wanted to give you a walkthrough of the first half of my 2017 Project Life album. This is the half that is pretty much complete. I think we may find one or two spreads that I haven't actually finished yet in here. This year for Project Life, I'm going to have two albums. So this one is January through July, and then I'll show you where I'm at with July to December. Mostly what I have in there is photos printed. So I have a Project Life archive on my blog where you can click through and see projects that I've shared on there. A lot of the things that you're going to see in here have been, or the spreads have been, part of my Story Kit classroom. So each month I have a subscription program that you can purchase kits that can help you tell stories in Project Life as well as on traditional layouts, or really whatever way you want to do that. So some of these have been posted on my blog, and others of them have been part of Story Kit Classroom. So just kind of a heads up for that. You can, like I said, read way more about my process for Project Life, both on my blog. I also have a workshop available that's you can join at any time called Storytelling with Project Life, and that really goes to the heart of what my processes are related to creating these spreads. I still personally love doing it a week at a glance, and I still love the 12 by 12 size. I know lots of people have either adjusted to 6 by 8 or they're doing it monthly, and there's all kinds of ways that you can approach it, and the key, as always, is finding what's going to work best for you and what's going to help you get the stories told that you want to tell, and really what stories do you actually want to tell right now. Those are some of the things to really consider as you are thinking maybe towards 2018 and what kind of documentation you might want to do. I am still loving these, the dividers, the monthly dividers. These are an official Project Life product that you can get from Becky Higgins. But I've kept it pretty consistent in terms of I'm definitely using the 4x6 pockets for my photos, and I pretty much always have 7 photos in there, and then I'm usually printing a few more 3x4s to go along this middle section there, and then I'm always still just having some sort of a title card up in the corner. And following that formula has continued to be something that has really worked for me. I often look for things that I can repeat on my photos. So there's a half circle. Those of you that got the December Daily Main Kit this year, we have a half circle in there that was kind of, this is where that idea came from, this idea of being able to add journaling spots directly onto the photos. I do add inserts as well. Usually they are smaller than the 12 by 12 size. This was Anna's birthday list of the things that she wanted this year, and just put a couple cards in there as well. And then just moving along again, you know, anytime I can add some little bits of real life sort of thing, I'm still sticking those in there. But really trying to keep it simple and not trying to feel like I have to get everything in there. I've never been like that, and I've never tried to include every photo as well. This was a week that we, when Erin and I went to Mexico last year, and I didn't even write anything with these. I'm not sure. Oh yes, I did. Here you go. So I took my words and ended up doing it in one big post. I think this one's on the blog. So you can see this came actually from my blog post, copied and pasted right onto that 6 by 12, and then paired it with the photos. So I didn't do a lot with all of the other photos, just adding a few little embellishments here and there, but took care of adding most of my words right there. This is February to March. Writing on the photos continues to be something that I like to do. Again, it's simple, you know, and as I've looked back, if you take my Storytelling with Project Life class, you can see me flip through all of my past Project Life albums to get a sense of how it's changed or how it's evolved for me over time as well. But like I said, I still love it, and it's still something that I keep coming back to again and again. I love doing cards like this over the course of a week, where I'm just identifying one story from each day of the week. And then oftentimes, like with this one, where I just left the photos plain, I'm not even adding anything on top of my photos, but I'm using intentional storytelling techniques to tell my story across the spread, identifying one day day from the total week. I also do things like, this is a die that I have in my shop, the day of a week die, and you can add those directly onto your photos, something that I've liked playing with. Again, some kids' art adding in there as well. Lots of chipboard. Chipboard often from my story kit will get added on there. This is the same week that we did Week in the Life this year, so I just took the digital set of overlays that was in the shop and then added those onto each one of the photos, because the majority of the story for this week was told in my actual Week in the Life album, and I just kept it really simple in Project Life with mainly a focus on the photos. I've loved using the weekly cards too from Liz Tamanaha's Project Life kit. That is available in Becky's shop as well. I think you can still get, you might be able to still get it on Amazon. I've just kind of mixed it in here and there when it's made sense for me. Letter stickers, simple and easy to do single words on top of photos there, something that I like to do. This would have been from the Fun Story Kit, so adding, you know, using the cards from the kit to tell the story there. Just kind of filling it in as it goes. This was fun too. I like the idea, you know, of using the black with white text. I just did these in Photoshop and then added the gold embellishments on top of them just for a variety too, and having something that's not white all the time as well. Using the hearts, these were from a past story kit as well. Coming into June here, what do I want to remember? This was from our first story camp that we did in June, and so I added in my story content here using a 6x8 page protector. Those fit, the 6x8 page protectors that we sell in my shop fit right into your 12x12 album as well, so it's a great way to add additional content. Again, just filling in the spaces, right? Filling in the pockets. That has always been my goal, and that's what I talk a lot about in storytelling with Project Life, is just get those pockets filled, whether it's photos or words or these other intentional embellishments that help push your story along. This one includes my day in the life, the last day in the life, which was on June 20th. Depending on when you're watching this, we're going to be doing another day in the life on November 2nd. That will be my third one for the year, and I incorporate those into Project Life as well. So that ended up being one full 12x12 plus a half of another one that I actually cut down. And they're wrapping that up. I haven't put anything in the back of this one yet. I might. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I don't always worry too much about that part of it. It just kind of depends on how I feel, and once we get to that point in the project or that point in the album. I wanted to also show you just where I'm at. This is then the second half of Project Life for 2017. I haven't put anything in the front page yet. I may do a 12x12 photo that I'll cut up. I may do something else. I haven't decided. Sometimes I've done just a piece of pattern paper that I've really liked. I've cut down to size as well. So getting into then actually, yes, so the first one was through June. This one starts in July. Just clarification there. So again, repeating things. What can I, you know, using a stamp with some geotags to put on a bunch of different photos. Repetition continues to be something huge for me. I have one layout that's missing, or the 12x12 the spread that's missing, because it's a story camp layout, so we're using that for that. Using, again, just 12, you know, the 6x12 size for inserts, either to hold stories or enlarged photos, something else that I love to do. And then you can see here where what you're going to see for the next few weeks is I just have photos. A few places I may have a card here and there, but I've gone through and just printed all of these photos so that when I am ready to actually go in and do the documentation, it's all ready to go. So these are just waiting for me to come back to this project and start adding in the actual stories. Here was the second day in the life. I did that in the 6x8 size, and I just went ahead and added it right into this album. So again, as an insert within this week that it happened. And then, let's see, mainly just like I said, a few more weeks of photos that then as new story kits come out, or as I want to use products that I have here in the house, or just, you know, depending on my timeline, then I can get my stories added into these pages. Sometimes I'm doing white borders, sometimes I'm not, just kind of depends on what I'm feeling like. But you can see that most of the time I'm filling in those 7 spots with the 4x6 photos and then adding in a few 3x4s as well. Here's one that had a lot of photos, so I'll just have a couple spots for the actual, for cards if I wanted to add them in there, or for stories, and then I'll probably be adding more bits of stories onto the photos themselves there. Here's first week in October, and then this is where I've stopped right now. So what I did for the rest of the year so far is I just went in and I added the sticky notes so that I have them for the rest of the weeks of the year as I find time to print photos and put them in there. And then I have a few extra that will be the start of my 2018 album. I'll just be pulling these out of there for next year. So my plan right now is to continue just doing the same. I still am loving the size. Like I said, 2 albums per year seems like a really decent amount for me. Most of these are pretty flat, so I'm not doing a ton of embellishments. I have had some years where I've had 3 albums depending on how many products I was using to tell those stories as well. So if you guys have questions, I'm happy to answer them, and I will share more when I have more.